Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles, and I am here at EICMA 2025. Now behind me you can see the rather large Voge stand. Now if you haven't heard of Voge, they are a brand of Loncin. If you haven't heard of Loncin, they are a Chinese company that have been making parallel twins and parts for BMW since I think 2007. So they're long established. I rode the DS800X Rally at the ABR Festival this year and was so impressed by it that I bought one. I'd also had my eye on a Voge 300 Rally for a long time. The new Euro 5 Plus version with the LED headlamp had been released, so I might have bought one of them as well. So bear in mind, I am already a customer. Both of these bikes I bought with my own money. They didn't give them to me, wish they had. However, no, I made that purchasing decision myself. So what I'm going to talk through here is really showing you what they have. I don't think they've got anything particularly new that's being announced. The DS800X was probably one of the newer bikes that I think the first press models were in the UK back in June, and the first customer bikes only started arriving a couple of months ago. So that is still fairly new. I'll see what else they have on the stand. What I am going to do as well is right down the far end is the Loncin bit where they have some of the ATVs. It's not really my sort of thing, and it's not what the channel's about, but as I'm here, I'll show you those as well. Right, here we go. So, first up, we have the DS800X Rally in the black and yellow. I think they have the other colorways dotted around as well. Here we have the DS900, which I rode last year. Had a few audio problems, so I'm still working through the edit for that. But yeah, it's very similar to the BMW 900 GS. It's not the same, it is different, and that's there in the black trim. They also have this, which is the DS525X. Again, smaller displacement, parallel twin, but just to show you a few details on these bikes, they really are nicely finished. The stitching on the seat, the plastic over the top, even the quality of the switchgear, the layout of the screens, and all these bits and pieces, and they're exceptionally well priced. It's about £7,000 in the UK, which I think is rather good. Here we have another one. I guess these are all the black ones that are dotted around here, and here we have the 625X, which is again another parallel twin that's 625 cc's. It's got that separate pillion seat with a bit of a hump in it, and yeah, fully adjustable suspension, which is quite nice on a bike in this price point. You don't get it on all of them. Adjustable screen. I mean, it's not electric, but still, yeah, really nice to see. Here we have the 800X in the blue and white with the gold wheels. I went for black and yellow with mine, but yeah, I think they look cracking. This one quotes a net weight of 213 kilos. They do have a pretty big fuel tank, around 24 litres, so I'm not sure how wet they make it to do that. I will be weighing mine. I've already got the pannier frames and a few other bits and pieces added, but just to give you an idea about what these bikes are like. So they're, again, fully adjustable suspension. They come with a steering damper, they come with that screen, and also with a nav bar for another bracket to be fitted up there. So yeah, I haven't done that many miles on mine, just a few hundred, but so far, even two up, the only thing I've missed compared to riding two up on my BMW has been the hill start assist, but first world problems and all that, I'll get by. Next bike I want to show you is their Voge 300 Rally. Now again, they come like this out of the box. Now with the LED headlamp, they come with pretty decent handguards and with a crash bar. Coming up and over, I mean the screen is basic, but it works. Both the windscreen and the dash. It's keyed ignition, they come with switchable ABS. It's got a lockable seat, you don't have to remove the bolts like you do on the CRF. And it comes with a rear rack. I actually got a plate for mine from AliExpress. I've yet to fit, but I'll stick that on. Other than that, they're cheap. I think they're well under £4,000 in the UK, and there isn't really a lot else that will give you this capability in quite the same way. It's got these enduro foot pegs. It's got a sort of quite a grippy rear brake lever, upside down forks with fork protectors, and yeah, I got one in black, pretty much exactly the same as that. Now we have a couple of super sports. Here we have a Voge 660 in very bright yellow with lots of bells and whistles, or at least it looks fancy. Seems to be a fairly decent size just to see it, but haven't ridden one, couldn't really comment on that just yet. What we also have is the RR660S. I believe it's a twin, 475cc twin. You can't actually see anything because of all the fairing that's on there. But again, nicely finished. If you're after a small capacity super sports, I think it's great that more and more of these bikes are coming through now, because for a while, super sports were just all becoming litre bikes with not a lot filling in the gap below. There's a few other small capacity bikes they have in here. I think that's a 125 naked, and then I think we have the 125S with a few more bells and whistles, and then the same bike in a 250 in the white and grey, and then lastly here they have the 625 in black. Someone asked me if I could have a bit more of a look at the scooters that we have here. So here they have a 125. This is Loncin branded, not Voge. 125i. This is called a recce Plus. When that white with the red and the blue, it's got a bit of an Africa twin. Even the BMW Rally look about it. It's 125cc scooter, so I'm not expecting wonderful things, but I think it looks kind of cool. Next thing to look at here is this EF40, which is an electrical trail bike. I've ridden a few of these, not this particular one, but a few of the similar models over the last couple of years. I think they're all right. I still think there's another step of battery evolution to come before they become, you know, replacements for petrol trail bikes. But that looks pretty good. You know, they're so much lighter, so much smaller than a motorcycle, than an internal combustion motorcycle. They don't need the big shocks, the big frames to support all the weight. As a result, they look almost halfway between an e-mountain bike and a motorcycle. It's nice to see what they're doing with that. We then have more cruisers. Here we have the Chill Twin. It's a 625cc V-twin. A few nice little features like that built-in front camera. We now have quite a few scooters, so I think that's a 160cc, the SR16 Air. It's harder to get around bikes now. There's people here. I'm just going to try and go to a quieter end. Another SR16 in black. As you can tell, I'm kind of running out of bikes and running out of space. So I'm just going to have a quick look at these ATVs they have at the end. So this one here is a Loncin brand and not Voge. That's pretty big. That's almost a 4 if not 6-seater. That's actually a pretty big vehicle with a winch on the front. That's the U-Wolf 1000L. So I guess that's a litre of 95 horsepower. So I'm sure that'll probably be quite a thing. Even these quad bikes actually look pretty massive. This is another X-Wolf 1000, so again a 1000cc quad bike. I mean, that thing is pretty huge. It does say it has a winch with a 3,500 pound pull. That must be about 1.5 tons. So that is pretty significant. Weighs about half a ton. And actually I'm surprised it's not more than that. But yeah, that's a pretty big vehicle, and you could have a beware of the wolf sign if you had one of those. Last few to go. So here we have the X-Wolf 700. Slightly smaller, slightly lower to the ground, but it still looks quite formidable as a vehicle. Right then, the home straight now. So here we have the X-Wolf 200, which is just a small farm quad. We have a Wolf 300 in there. 2 to go, an X-Wolf 550, and then I will dwell a little bit longer on the biggest one, which is the X-Wolf 1000. So again, one more that's you know, that sort of big capacity, that 1000cc, 459 kilos net weight. So yeah, fully fueled, that's the best part of half a ton. Yeah, they're just big vehicles. You could use them for towing and for all sorts. Don't see so many of them around in the UK because, well, we don't really have the weather. But if you're in the market for a quad and you get a Loncin dealer nearby, these are the sorts of things you could see. Right then, that's about it from Voge, I think, for today. I will have some videos about my own Voge motorcycles coming up. Not sure when, certainly before Christmas, maybe 1 or 2, but definitely in the new year. So I hope that's been interesting and useful. If it has, please check out my other content from EICMA, and maybe I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.